I didn't know it was gonna change so fast. No one told me.
This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It discusses the topic of bug chasing within the context of sexual health, psychology, and public awareness. The content is not intended to promote, glorify, or encourage any unsafe or illegal sexual behavior, including intentional transmission of HIV or any other sexually transmitted infections. Viewer discretion is advised, as the subject matter may be sensitive or distressing to some audiences.
In high school, Mark never worried about getting dates. He just did. He never worried about making school teams. He just did. He never worried about getting good grades. He just did. And he never worried about getting AIDS. He just did.
Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload. I covered this on my now defunct blog back in 2014, but with the introduction of PrEP, I wanted to see if this fetish was still around, and surely it is. Bug chasing is the act of seeking sex with HIV-positive men so as to contract the virus that can lead to AIDS. People engaged in this subculture are known as bug chasers. It's a type of harm toward oneself where the main goal for these men is to become positive by way of gift givers, HIV-positive men who agree to the bug chasers' wishes to become infected. The early development of bug-chasing subculture is obscure. The practice may have existed from the start of the crisis.
The average gay man here has had sex.
Newsweek reported on it in 1997 and Rolling Stone in 2003. The Rolling Stone article, "Bug Chasers, the Men Who Long to Be HIV Positive," was the first to bring widespread concern and attention to the practice.
People with AIDS and HIV aren't faceless strangers anymore. They are our family, friends, and partners.
We have learned that this virus can affect anyone, especially teenagers.
Do you know what AIDS and HIV are?
Do you know how to get them?
More importantly, do you know how to avoid getting them?
If you don't know, get the video.
It's called Time Out, the truth about HIV, AIDS, and you.
During the 1990s, internet access exploded.
You've got mail.
From just a few million users at the start of the decade to tens of millions by the end. By the year 2000, roughly 94 million Americans were online. And as home internet access grew, the era of bathhouses began to fade. In their place, AOL chat rooms, hookup sites, and online forums became new gathering spaces for bug chasers and gift givers to connect and find exactly what they were looking for. American filmmaker Louise Hogarth released a documentary, The Gift. In the same year, the Rolling Stone piece was published. It focused on narratives of bug chasers emphasizing the self-reported positive aspects of HIV infection.
Now, believe it or not, there are actually some people who want to get the AIDS virus. The name on the street for some of these people is bug chasers, and the virus itself they call The Gift. It's also the name of a new film that's getting a lot of attention. It's about a subject we are sure you may find uncomfortable, even shocking, but it's also a subject we should not ignore. Here's a short clip from The Gift.
I have one friend who is always like, I want to be like all you guys, you know, you all have it, and I don't. What's wrong with me? You know, I want to go out there and get it.
They want to be in the in crowd.
It definitely is not a gift to get it. I would definitely be gifted if I didn't have it.
I have no desire to give this gift to anybody.
Some people have even said, you know, oh, I'll give you your dad.
Joining me is the filmmaker who created, directed The Gift, Louise Hogarth. Thanks for being with us. This is incredibly disturbing. Probably a lot of people don't know about it. Why do some people, and we stress this is a fringe group of people in the United States, why do they want HIV?
It's a multi-leveled reasons. A lot of people, it's survivor guilt. They lost hundreds of friends. They've lost 2 or 3 lovers. They feel guilty that they're still alive. Other people just want to get the worry over. They don't want to worry about it.
Because they think they're going to get it anyway, they might as well just get it over with.
Yes. And other people want to belong to a community.
They think there's this community out there that, and they, in order to belong.
There's a large barebacking community out there. They're not bug chasers or gift givers, but they are barebackers. And that's really why I made the film, to address the misperceptions that are in the community now that HIV is a livable illness.
In the film, you follow a number of people. One of them, I haven't seen the film yet, but I've read a lot about it. One of them is a young man named Ken. I want to show you what happens. This is his reaction when he finds out he has, in fact, gotten HIV.
Yes, which is a common reaction.
I was expecting a positive reading, and it was. I was feeling, say I was relieved that I finally got it, and I don't have to worry about, do I have it, do I have it, do I have it? And if so, do I need to be careful? Not anymore. Happy. Relieved. I can breathe again.
I mean, you look at this and you say, is this kid just an idiot? I mean, is he just an idiot? But there, I mean, can you explain it?
He's not an idiot. He is. He has a lot of misperceptions about what it means to get infected.
Where do you think he gets those perceptions? Do you think there's something in the AIDS education, as it has been thus far, that is sending out the wrong message?
Definitely. That's totally the problem, and that's why I've made this documentary.
And what is the wrong message? What is the message that's being sent out, in your opinion?
That HIV is a livable illness, that it's not a problem to get it, that we've made it so positive to be positive.
In ads, in television, and the like.
Right.
I want to show you another clip from this film. This is another young man, Doug, who had a different reaction when he found out he was HIV positive. Let's play it.
I thought I was just going to have a lot of promiscuous unsafe sex. I didn't know it was going to change so fast. No one told me.
No one told him? I mean, the message is out there.
No, Doug never had a cigarette because he knew there was no cure for lung cancer, but he knew there was a pill for HIV.
So he thought he could just take some pills and there was no big deal having HIV.
Exactly.
What was the most important thing that came out of this film for you, the message that you are trying to bring to an audience?
I'm hoping this will be a catalyst to start reigniting prevention and to start telling the truth about what it means to be infected. We developed strategies for what we thought was a short-term crisis. They were good, they worked then, but now they've become obsolete. They've backfired on us. We need to do a new type of prevention.
3 years later, Ricky Dyer, an HIV-positive man, released a documentary entitled, I Love Being HIV Positive, suggesting that most bug-chasing activity is simply fantasy. Bug chasing was also a part of the show Queer as Folk. Some bug chasers engage in this activity for the thrill, a game like Russian roulette, where you never know when you will become infected. Others consider bug chasing as being erotic, a sort of fetish, as they view infection as the ultimate taboo. These men are often viewed as sex addicts who no longer receive a high from having vanilla sex. They may have already experimented with BDSM and other fetishes, leaving bug chasing as the last act of risky behavior to fulfill their need for a sexual thrill. One bug chaser stated, HIV is a very intimate disease. It is the closest thing to procreation there can be between two men. Moreover, the mRNA of the disease is literally produced in the nuclei of one's partner's cells, so its transmission is beyond even the intimacy of normal procreation. Combine all of that with the thrill of sex, and it is possible to see why this is a turn-on for many homosexual men. Some bug chasers feel as though they will eventually contract the virus at some point within their lifetime. So instead of being a victim, they decide to choose who they will contract the virus from and when they will become infected. Bug chasing has also been described as a political device in action against social norms, such as those tied to heteronormativity through transgression of or rebellion against popular sentiments about gay life. Bug chaser and gift givers also have holiday parties or Christmas parties where they meet in a deviant party-like atmosphere. But the agenda is different for these holiday parties, as they are looking to be infected or to infect someone. Some bug chasers who have already contracted the virus still seek out other positive men to be reinfected or with hopes of being infected with a different strain. Dr. Jeffrey T. Parsons and Dr. Christian Grove studied the internet profiles of more than 1,228 bug chasers and gift givers, having identified 6 subsets within the culture. I won't go in detail of the findings of this study, but you can pause the video, read up on each subset and their sexual preferences. But before I wrap up this video, I want to touch on this last bug chaser. He had a huge following on Twitter where he used to post pictures of PrEP pills being flushed in the toilet, sickly-looking men having relations, and other dark content that I cannot describe in this video. But back in 2019, he took to his platform and posted this message. A friend of mine's boyfriend is currently in ICU on the verge of dying from HIV because the virus became drug-resistant. And while some people sent messages of concern, others responded with, if he's hot enough, hinting that they wanted to hook up with the friend's boyfriend while he was lying in his hospital bed. In a moment of realization, the bug chaser responded with not the right response, leading to the once proud bug chaser to go completely silent on his social media. However, someone reached out to the 33-year-old for more details regarding his situation and to learn a little more about his bug chasing activities. He told the interviewer, "I haven't posted about it yet, but my friend's boyfriend, who was also his friend, passed away a couple of hours before midnight on New Year's Eve. That made me rethink some things. Discordant sex still turns me on. However, I've decided I'm not actively chasing anymore and am back on PrEP full time. I will still enjoy sex with positive men, but I'm going to take better care of my own status. I've just come to the decision that actively chasing a positive diagnosis is no longer for me." He then delved further into why he began chasing. With many people, desire of something increases when we're told we can't or shouldn't have something, so I certainly think that that's part of it. The other is how primally sexual in nature it is. I only really get off on condomless corn and stories, and only really get off on corn if I know, or at least think, that the top is blanking directly into the bottom. That's always been the case, even before I started really eroticizing HIV. When asked if he really tried to become infected, he responded, "I absolutely have. I have a number of times gone to places like bathhouses while not on PrEP and sought out some of the most traditionally positive-looking guys there to F me and inside of me. Learning about my friend's illness and passing has certainly changed a few things for me personally. I might be stopping the chase, at least for the time being. It's certainly brought up feelings of conflict in me. There's absolutely a safer way of going about it. Verbal absolutely helps. I get so turned on when a guy just talks about it during sex. If they're on meds and you're on PrEP, I'd say it's still possible to have fun with it, for sure. I would likely still consider coming off of PrEP and having intimate relations with guys I know are on meds." At the time of this 2019 interview, he stated that he had recently tested HIV negative, which was surprising even to him. So as we've learned, the widespread availability of PrEP, which is capable of preventing HIV infection in otherwise unprotected sexual encounters, has not resulted in the disappearance of bug chasing. Some men incorporate taking PrEP alongside bug chasing behavior. Others view PrEP as emasculating and refuse to use it. And some are turned on by HIV. I know the optics, and based on the demographic of men in the Gift documentary, one may conclude that this is something that only one specific race participates in. But I challenge that thought process, as some black men are into interracial hookups and dating. Not only that, but if you are a black man who has unprotected sex on a regular basis, whether it be with one man or multiple men, you don't regularly check on your own status, nor do you know the status of the men you have relations with, you would fall underneath the subset of the ambiguous bug chaser. Even though you aren't intentionally seeking to be infected, your actions could lead to you unknowingly becoming infected and then infecting others. By no means am I shaming anyone, but we are all in this together, and protecting yourself is protecting others. If you or someone you know is seeking information or support regarding HIV prevention, sexual health, or mental health, please consult a licensed healthcare provider. I support HIV education, harm reduction, and informed consent when it comes to all sexual encounters. Much love, and until next time, stay safe.